In a broken wasteland, come to my fire.
All right, metalheads, we are being joined this week with the bassist of Bloodstar, Salt Lake City's own Noah Henley, not to be confused with Don. No, come on. Come on. What? Fucking Eagles jokes? How fucking old am I? Jesus. Dude,
hey, ain't nothing wrong with the Eagles.
Hey, I am a huge devout Lebowski fan. And while
it's been a long day, I fucking hate the Eagles, man.
Exactly. It's been a long day and I hate the fucking Eagles. No, I don't hate the Eagles, but you know.
Yeah, it opens itself up for some jokes. I get that.
It's like, have you ever seen the heavy metal dude where he's just like, you know, talking about rock and roll and all the shit and like, you know, rock and roll is about fucking rebellion and now you fucking give a shit because you joined a fucking party. You know, it's like that. It's like the Eagles or that now. It's like, fuck, you were about rebellion and fucking in the desert with fucking hot fucking Spanish chicks, and now it's fucking part of a fucking party, man. What the fuck? Rock the vote, Don. No. No, dude. How is this is like a fanboy moment for me because like I've been following you all for quite some time. Like I always wanted to have you all in the inaugural year, but as time has went by, here we are in the 300s of episodes, and now you're finally here, and I'm like, wow, it's fucking Bloodstar.
Well, yeah, thank you, man. I appreciate it. Yeah, it means a lot. I'm happy to be here. I'm glad it worked out and panned out where we can make this happen. Hell yeah.
Absolutely. So, with the band, you know, as per the Metal Archive, shows you all starting in 2017. So here we are around that 8-year mark for the band. Mm-hmm. And you've kind of had an interesting career with the music. You've really only put out First Sighting in 2023. Everything else has been singles and whatnot. So how is that with the longevity of being in this band 8 years and only having one full length?
I would say as far as that goes, basically it took a minute to get the songs together the way that we wanted them. You know, we did a lot of edits on the arrangements and a lot of things like that just to get them to be as good as we thought they could possibly be, right? Like we didn't want to put out some half-assed product. You know, we didn't want people to be underwhelmed by it. You know, it definitely took a minute to get going. But we were busy during that time for sure. There was a lot of writing happening. Some of those songs that are on that date back until like, I'd say kind of like 2018 for sure. We played Fearless Priestess on our first tour with Night Demon, so that one was around from day one basically, and some others not that far after that. You know, a lot of it, I'd say the seeds of the songs, the basic ideas of the songs came from either Jason or myself, mostly between like 2018, 2020. And then late 2021 to 2022 was pretty much recording and getting all that going. At the time, you were mentioning Spell, and we were talking about them. Alistair played drums on First Sighting, so that was a piece of the puzzle too. And yeah, he did a great job. Can't say enough good things about him and about Spell and about those guys.
Oh,
sure. Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so it just, you know, it took time to get it the way we wanted it to be. Well, in the shortest way of putting it, That's what I'd say.
Well, and that is the thing, because not only with like first sighting and just the overall look of it, you have always had great artwork for everything that you've done as well. And the packaging, like the 7-inch of the Fear, I love, because the one I have, is the splatter. I love it, and it does take time, and there was a pandemic in that amount of time as well. So I get that, but when you sit there and you look at when you turn around and look at Spotify and you see, these songs that have 80,000, 100,000, 150,000 plays, that's got to be like mind numbing. Like what is happening? And it's not just like one song. It's a lot of them. It's almost all of them that are that way. So that's got to feel good being a musician and being into this 8 years with the and I don't want to say limited amount, but the quality of the amount of what is out there, because there's bands out there that have had like 4 and 5 and 6 albums in that amount of time.
Yeah. And it's very validating to see that, and just the reaction that we've gotten from the album. It's it's really humbling. I feel great about how it's been received. Like the fact that people care about it, it means the world. It really does. I would say the writing process just it took the time it took, and that's just how it is. We all work full-time hours too, so we're working around that.
Are you comfortable with what do you do for a day job? Are you comfortable
what I do? Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I work at a grocery store.
Nice.
They work with my touring schedule, and I've been there 5 years, and I work at a grocery store. It's not bad, it pays the bills. Have the freedom to tour because I'm expendable enough. They can let me go, but I've been there long enough. I know how the shit works. So they want to keep me on, and they work with the touring schedule, and it hasn't been that bad over the last couple of years as far as that goes for what we've done. 2023 was kind of intense. Then, last year we only really did the one tour. We did the Hell's Heroes in the Midwest. But this year, we'll see what happens.
Last year you all were supposed to have some touring go on, but you had an accident happen.
Yes. Yeah, there was an injury within the band.
Because we were actually supposed to play together in Indianapolis with Sanhedrin. And
that would have been sick.
And I was like, shit. It's just like I've been like waiting to see you guys for so long, because like coming through this area, it's like everybody it's the black hole, and it's like Louisville is 2 hours from like so many different cities. And 3 hours from like Nashville, 5 from Chicago, 6 from Detroit, kind of thing. So it's like it's literally a show vortex. Like we get a lot of decent things, but like really good shit, they usually hit up like Indianapolis or Chicago or whatever. So so when that happened, it's a little bit bummed out, but it's like this year it's got to happen. So going into 25, what do we have? What do we have on the docket? Do we have a new album coming?
So basically today, like this morning earlier, we announced a West Coast tour that we've been cooking up, just for 10 days. I want to say nothing crazy, just something to shake the rust off. Hit the West Coast again, friendly territory. We've done it a few times. It will have been about a year and a half, though, by the time we get out there. since we've been through. So we do that. Maybe maybe a couple new songs in the set list this time around. We'll see. We'll see how that all pans out. Right now, we're very, very involved in the writing process. Um, that's a really kind of a totally different ball game this time because now we have Tyler on drums, who lives in Salt Lake with us. So we're writing as a unit in the rehearsal room, jamming stuff out and seeing what works, which we haven't really done that much of like that with a full lineup, able to get together, practice, and write like that. So that's been cool. We haven't started the recording yet. We don't have that like locked in exactly when that's going to be. But again, just like the last one, we can't rush.
You're right.
Right?
Because it has to flow. And you bring this up for a second. I want to backtrack. You had mentioned, with Tyler being in the band, being in SLC with you all, and being like there. Do you think that it's imperative for that as a band to work that way to achieve the best product and to achieve the best songwriting? Or are you also, do you believe in like the distance recording as well? Obviously with Al and the band for the first album, it was a distance recording. But like, is it one of those things that like that you would be into doing?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's what works for every band is different for every band.
Sure.
I don't think there's really a hard and fast way to do it, like a set thing. You know what I'm saying? I like this is it's been cool doing it like this. It's definitely been different from how we did it. But
and prime example of being different is the flag behind you.
Yeah.
Prime example of doing things in a different manner, like what you're saying, is the high spirits.
Yeah.
Because,
well, I know that's all Chris.
Yeah.
Right, recording the stuff. And that's great. He does a great job. We all love High Spirits. Like that was a band that inspired us when we were starting the band. Honestly, as far as new bands go, big time. He writes great hooks. Those songs will stick in your head forever. And,
absolutely.
We all love High Spirits. Exactly. That's a good example of a different way of running a band. And I think now in this day and age, things are so all over the place and everybody's lives are how they are that every band's dynamic is going to be different. And as long as the drive is there, people will make it work however that looks. Right now it happens to be where we're doing things in a more old school way, like writing in the room as a unit. Everyone lives here. But I don't think there's necessarily like one right way to do it.
No. And that's what I love about metal is that it is no fucking rules. And whatever works for, just even going off of, like, say, the banners behind you with High Spirits, with Chris writing everything. And that's not at all a slight or discredit to any of the member of that band that plays with him, because they all have other projects that are fucking banging, like fucking Night and Boa, Basher with Bobby, fucking, oh my God. Fucking, and then, even back in the day with Bobby fucking playing with Savage Master and even doing that shit. And a lot of that was Adam. So, but again, and what works for Riot City works for Riot City, and what works for Overload and Ice Owl and Bloodstar. And I love how everybody has their own way of doing things, but achieving such awesomeness of what they can do. Like I don't know. It's like I said, like listening to you guys on Spotify, and I know Spotify is kind of like the fucking, the faux pas, the devil, the whole fucking thing, right? But
yeah,
like,
I mean, yeah, but I
when you
use it
see,
too.
yeah,
I fucking use it. I'm not gonna sit here and act like I don't.
yeah, because
Like,
I mean, in this day and
yeah.
age, it's a necessary evil. And I mean, I would love, and I do support the bands that I do, even if I do buy a digital copy of something, but like when you see peer groups like you guys that are breaking 100,000 listens and whatever, like that is fucking uplifting as hell. And it's just like, wow, man, like that is fucking insane. And it's like there's quite a few bands out there that are doing this today. And you guys are on like the forefront of it, I think. And I don't know, like, how do you do it? I guess it's like, that's like a loaded question, obviously, because it's like, if you knew, you would say, it's like, fuck, I don't know, but
I
I mean, how do you process stuff like that? Like when you see that, you like the fear. I mean, I'll go to what the current list of it says: 125,000 plays. Like that's 125,000 times that people have heard it, and that's just there.
Yeah, I mean, shit, I don't know, man. That's basically just writing music that we want to hear, I think, is the way that I would put it. In like, if I can boil it down to a simple concept, we just want to make stuff that we think is cool, like stuff that if we had no attachment to it, if it was from some random band out of nowhere from half a world away that we had no connection to, no buddies in the band or anything, nothing like that, this would strike me like, oh, that's cool. That's kind of what we're aspiring toward. If I had to boil it down like that, is writing something we want to hear.
So, do you think in the metal world that, based on what you just said, it kind of hits me like to a degree here of like, in the metal world today, it's like when we looked at the CD sections and we saw Blind Guardian, Black Sabbath, Black Label Society, and then those are all like I'm just giving the bees here, because and obviously we always want to see our own band name is in a title card in a CD or a vinyl rack, but like, do you think metal has become almost so niche market with like, especially in like the new wave of traditional heavy metal, that it's almost like the miscellaneous section? So it's like you get like the bees, like,
well, and that's an interesting one.
How do you feel about that?
That's an interesting one, because this is a while back now. This is before I lived in Salt Lake City, before I moved out here. When I grew up in Eugene, Oregon, and I worked at a record store there for like over 3 years. This was my first job out of high school, was working at the record store, and we'd get albums from new wave traditional heavy metal bands. I was working there when the first albums from Night Demon and Visigoth came out, and they would get their own cards, and whether they continued to get their own cards would depend on how they sold. And like, so like we'd get a couple, we'd make a new spot for them if we had the cards and the stickers and all the process stuff. And I would imagine most record stores work the same way. If you get something new and you get a decent amount of them, they'll keep moving, they keep their spot.
It's like you're putting.
I think a bunch of bands we're probably in a bunch of miscellaneous sections. We would get the like one or two copies of certain like Hell's Headbangers releases or something like that, we would get those for sure.
Sure.
And like, yeah, and some would end up in the miscellaneous, and I'm fine with that. You know, I think people that like the kind of stuff that we do, you know, new wave of traditional heavy metal, whatever you want to call it, people that are into that and are looking for that at record stores probably would know to look there, because we all know this is a niche thing, right?
Yeah.
And you know, I always think of that in the sense of kind of the way I always think about it is that Hank 3 song. I don't know if you listen to Hank 3 much.
I have.
Yeah, there's this song, Not Everybody Likes Us. And it's on Straight to Hell, which I credit that the album that got me into country music. Straight up, 100%, full stop. That's the one that got me into country music. And
interesting.
Toward the end of the album, and the chorus is, not everybody likes us, but we drive some folks wild. And that's
damn straight.
And that's I think everybody that plays this type of music or other niche types of music, you got to hang on to that. You know, the people that like what you do, and you know, and it means the world that they do. And so, you know, I'm not going to be tripping out over being in a miscellaneous section. The people that know where to find it will know where to find it.
Exactly. And that's the thing, is I honestly prefer the miscellaneous section, like the miscellaneous B's and C's and D's and M's.
Yeah.
Because honestly, I think I found some of the best albums I've ever heard in the miscellaneous sections of the letters. Because I'll take one, Malaya Rage.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Fucking amazing bit.
I'll have to listen to him more after this. I listened to him a little bit. What I heard I thought was sick, but like,
yeah, of all people, Sully Erna was in that band.
No shit.
As a drummer, yes. Not on the album that I found, but I was just like, wait a minute. Dude was in this? What?
What the fuck? All right.
Exactly. And you know, so yeah, that's a totally cool thing. Yeah, we'd all love to have our own, you know, grandiose fucking giant section in the store that fucking points into the fucking buy the Bloodstar fucking album here, or buy the Overload album here, or Ice Howl or whoever I'm playing with this week. Sometimes it's hard to remember. But like, yeah, so, but I'll take it. I'll take anything as long as there's still physical media released.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
I'm still a physical media hound. You can't see it; it's just off camera. But I have the whole stack, like, you know, just kind of sitting right there off camera.
Oh, right on! Fuck yeah!
And it's not just limited to anything, because I just cut the cards and I found Mozart right above Corrosion of Conformity. So,
yeah. Well, and that's a good way to be, I think, because the way I see, like, I'm not gonna just sit and listen to one type of music. No. If I did, it's like, am I gonna eat one type of food for the rest of my life? I mean, I love pizza, but I'm not gonna only eat pizza for the rest of my life. And I don't know.
Hang on now. We're getting into the food talk, and I'm a big dude, and we usually break into something food related later in the derailed segment.
All right, we can put the back burner, so to speak.
Hang on now. But I mean, you do say pizza, but pizza's pretty fucking versatile. You can make pizza anything. You can fuck it. I mean, this is what the fuck is about. Pineapple on pizza. Does it belong? Yeah. You can make pizza out of anything.
That's true. I'm a staunch defender of the barbecue sauce and chicken and bacon pizza. I love those. Like,
Soul Brother.
Yeah.
I go to this little neighborhood joint called Domino's, and they I totally get that, the barbecue sauce, chicken and bacon pizza there on thin crust. Dope.
Maybe some jalapenos, something on there. Yeah, it's great.
And it's totally good shit. But anyways, we're talking about the music still. Yeah. You're right. It's like, why would you want to listen to just one thing anymore? And you bring up Hank the Third, you know, and I grew up. My dad was a listener of, you know, classic country and stuff like that, like Hank Sr. and Waylon Jennings. And,
oh yeah, oh I love Waylon.
You know,
I love.
Oh
Waylon
hell
Jennings.
yeah,
He's great.
and some
And
of the
Nelson, Johnny Paycheck, George Jones.
yeah, and you know, just as much as like we get into these arguments over the, you know, this person being a piece of shit, like, you know, fucking, I don't know, Phil, you know, fucking, Anselmo, that guy.
Yeah.
You know, we always talk about Phil being a piece of shit, but, and I mean, granted, there were pieces of shit in fucking country music too. And it's kind of hard these days to, like, you know, it's like, do I still listen to Pantera? Not really, because of it, but like, and I don't listen to certain people like that. Like, and I'd love to listen to fucking like Charlie Daniels again, but he was apparently a piece of shit. So I didn't know that until like recently. But like, no. So yeah, it's like listening to one style of music, you can't, I don't think you can be an artist of any type, whether it be in film, in physical media, like, you know, painting, whatever, and just stick to one thing. You have to, it's all relative, I guess.
Yeah, I think it's good to have a wide range of stuff to pull from. And, you know, you can't force it. Not everybody's going to like everything. But if there's, you definitely want to at least be able to appreciate stuff that's totally different from what you do as an artist, I think, and find something that resonates with you. Like, you know, for me, it's the country, or, you know, I love my heartland rock, you know, Tom Petty, Bob Seger. I love that stuff too.
Was the one who got away, man.
Yeah. Oh, he's the best. He fucking rules. Like,
dude, he was the one who got away from me. I didn't get to see Tom live before he passed.
Yeah, I didn't either.
And it bums me out to this day. Actually, like, so I actually had some weird things happen, and we can segue this into Derailed. Is superstitions.
Uh-huh.
Are you a superstitious person?
The older I get, the more superstitious I get, I would say. Yeah.
Same.
Yeah.
So I said that Tom Petty was the one that got away. I in the same year of shows, by the way, I had two things happen. I got to see Dusty Hill's last show.
Oh, damn. All right.
Like he was sitting down playing the set, and he went home right after that and passed away a week later. And I saw the show where Richie Faulkner had his aortic aneurysm at Louder Than Life in Louisville, Kentucky. And so it's like, do you believe in superstition and stuff like that? Do you think that that follows people around and stuff?
I mean, I don't know. That's how to think about it. Mine are more like, my superstitions are more small, commonplace type of stuff.
Like
nothing
stepping
crazy.
on cracks or like.
No, I mean not like that necessarily, but like
do you avoid cracks though? Like, do you avoid
No,
stepping?
I don't think of that. I walk everywhere. I'm not that far into it. I don't know.
I'm like OCD about that. So I'll be like, if you've ever seen the movie As Good as It Gets, where Jack Nicholson's dancing on the fucking sidewalk around them, that I'm not like that, but like I'm kind of like that.
Well, you'll avoid the cracks. You'll avoid the cracks if you notice it. Like you'll go out to not, if it's not like super far inconvenient for you.
And it's mostly just to twist my foot away, just to.
Yeah,
I'm fucking around, dude. So what are your superstitions now? You say they're a little bit more.
I don't know. They're kind of just my own little shit that I have. And I don't fully believe it either. That's the thing, is you can't prove any of this shit. That's the thing. You can't prove any of this stuff is real, and I'm not gonna die on that hill. Definitely not gonna die on that hill.
If the band banner falls down, is it bad luck or something?
I will say, you know what? I'll say one that we have is, if there's a disco ball in the venue, it's a good omen. It's good luck if there's a disco ball, and that is an entire band superstition that we all.
That's awesome.
We all put some. I'll say that one. That's a pretty benign one, you know.
We'll bring you to Magbar then. We'll bring you to Magbar in Louisville this year at some point, and fucking they've got a disco ball. We'll fucking rock this out.
We'd love to play there. I hope it pans out, man. That'd be sick. I would love to play there.
We'll make that fucking work. So Derailed is kind of as you see, is kind of an all out whatever kind of thing. I draw from a deck of cards. Some hypothetical questions is like, if hide and seek was an Olympic sport, what would it be like?
Well, I think if hide and seek was an Olympic sport, what I gotta know is, like, where is this? Are we in like the wilderness? Are we in an urban environment? Or like, I would
say it is a winter sport. It is a winter sport, and it's out in the wilderness.
Okay,
it's judged outside. And the only reason why I say that is because then you've got to bring in like a fucking survivalist instinct to it, because you've got to fucking find somewhere that's not going to be as fucking cold as hell, or
you got to figure out
an icicle.
So also then, if you're a seeker or a hider, do you each get your own individual gold medal structure for that then? Because if your job is to hide and, you know, be discreet in the snow, that's a whole different set of skills than it is if you're hunting motherfuckers down in the snow. You know what I'm saying? So does each side get their own medal structure, or is it like, and how many people are on each team too?
It's got to be timed, I would think. It would have to be in time.
Yeah,
It would
you
have
can't
to
people
be
freeze them to
like
death.
you have
Yeah.
like yeah, you have like 18 minutes. Just an
Mhm.
arbitrary number.
Okay.
You know, if football is broken down into 4 15-minute quarters, broken down into two halves, uh, you know, we could totally do that. 18 minutes sounds about right. You have to get your met to it's a based on attrition. It's a
Mhm.
give and a take. There you go. I'm thinking this through.
Okay.
This is
Okay.
awesome. It's based on attrition. The more seekers find the people who are hiding, that's how you weigh out the medals.
Mhm.
So if you get like
Okay.
60%, then boom, you probably achieved that gold medal. It's like, oh, they've got gold medal status at 66%. They found 66% of the people.
Hmm. Okay.
Yeah. But if they
Yeah.
can't find them, but if they
Mhm.
can't find them, then the hiding people have
Yeah.
that medal.
You know what you'd probably need is you probably need a bunch of space, like, a few square miles worth of territory, and uh, a
I'm
decent
gonna
amount of
say
people on
this
each team.
sounds vaguely familiar to George Carlin's prison farm skit from the 90s. Where you're like, you gotta rope them in and you gotta put these electric fences up and you put them in square states. So uh, if you could go to any amusement park that you could design, what would be the main attraction?
Damn, I don't know, dude. I've never thought of this before. Uh, the amusement park.
The Noah Henley experience. What would be at the amusement park?
Honestly, for me, it'd probably be like, if I can design, can we extend it to just to like my own territory. You could call this an amusement park, my own territory, like maybe like a city block. It'd be a
Sure.
venue and a sick bar, like a greasy little dive bar, and a record store and a pizza joint all on the same block.
Fuck
I think
yes.
all of that right there under the same fucking ownership. People just keep an eye on all of it, like all of that right there. I
Dude, absolutely.
So yeah, if you can count that as an amusement park, because I think you kind of can. Like for
Yeah.
us, that is what an amusement park would
That's
be.
amusement park would
Yeah,
be. It's like,
yeah.
dude, I
For
I
walkers,
went
you
to
know what I'm
fucking
saying?
Legions of Metal last year and had what the closest approximation to what I refer to as a religious experience. So
Yeah,
yeah, it's a fucking amusement
yeah,
park. Yes, I was just like, Ishmael, I'm home. you know,
yeah.
fucking. So yeah, totally would do that. And thinking about stuff like that in this day and age, it's become such a fucking unattainable goal.
Mhm.
And I mean, because
Yeah.
if I were born 30 years earlier, that would have been a reality that I could have done.
Mhm.
But since I am, born 30 years later, you know, it's like with the way business in the United States has been, finagled and put such fucking like bureaucratic bullshit and red tape and all this fucking sanction shit. It's like you need like a couple of $1 million to even start anything. And
Yeah.
it's like, who has that fucking money?
Yeah, dude. Anything cool like that is just prohibitively expensive. You
Sure.
can't.
Because you've got the fucking liquor license and you've got to have the insurance and all of the fucking extra shit that goes with it. And it's like Yeah, you're like footing the bill for somebody else's party at that point. But
Yeah,
it would be
basically.
totally cool. It'd be totally cool to fucking have banging ass fucking shows at a place like that. And then,
Mhm.
you know, I fucking commend so many of these independent bar owners and the places where we all play out there, like the Mag Bar in Louisville, Black Circle in Indianapolis, when it was
Mhm.
there in Cincinnati Legends, you know, fucking Reggie's, fucking Cobra Lounge, all of these Sanctuary, all these fucking awesome fucking places that are still in existence despite all the adversity over the last fucking at least
Yeah,
15 years in this fucking country. But
yeah. And
anyway,
we got a bar like that here too. We got Aces High Saloon. I'm sure you see it on tour flyers and shit like that.
yeah.
It's definitely like that. It's by rockers for rockers. Before it opened, it was kind of dire here. It was tough. Like there's other venues, but nothing that's like that
And
energy.
honestly, I think, and this is the cool thing, is you guys have kind of put Salt Lake on the fucking map again when it's come to that whole Western shift, because most of the fucking bands that come through, they hit Portland, Boise, Salt Lake, and it's Denver. It's like bam, 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 bam. They hit all of these cities like right there, which is totally fucking cool as shit, and it's kind of like I said, like with Indianapolis, they do the same thing. Pittsburgh is another city that's like that. It's like right there, and it's like they all hit the same string, which is totally cool. And thank you all for doing that.
Yeah, it's more of a geographical thing than anything. I think as far as tour routing goes, if you're trying to get from the West Coast to the Midwest or vice versa, there's really only three ways you can go, and that's either south through
Arizona, New Mexico, and
Albuquerque
Southern
and
California.
Phoenix, or you go way north, where Calgary, and then do a fucking 13-hour drive to Vancouver,
Yeah.
straight through. Which that you don't want to do that and then play the next day. You have to take a drive day to do that.
Yeah.
Or you go Salt Lake, Denver. So it's kind of I'd say geographically, it definitely lends itself well to tour routings, and we get cool stuff because of that. We've gotten a lot of cool stuff through Aces, a bunch of stuff, but stuff plays. There's just cool shows in other venues here too that are good. Like we have Urban Lounge and Metro, and Salt Lake City is the metro area is shit. I want to say like 1.5 million almost at this point.
Wow.
The entire metro area, which is very sprawled out. The valley is it's a very vast zone, really. Yeah, there's awesome play. There's cool stuff here. There's stuff going on. There's cool bands here.
Absolutely. So speaking of shows, bringing back up the bars and everything, when shows are sparsely attended, because we've all played those shows where there's 30 people in a place where 100 looks full, and 30 people is like, I wish there were more people here. So like in a sparsely attended show, why do you think people stand so far apart, for one, and for two, so far away from the stage?
I don't know. That's an interesting one, because I totally know what you're saying. Like there is a thing about that happens, when the show is packed out and everyone's like fighting to get up to the front. People are losing their shit and getting stoked. And people, it's hard to. I think people also feed off the energy of the other people in the crowd, not just the band, right?
Sure.
So I think there's some of that going on, maybe, and then also like I think if there's less people, there's more eyes on everybody. So it's like you don't want to like. There's some kind of maybe a little bit of self consciousness going on.
I'm always the dude that's doing that. I'm like looking around at the fucking show, like, man, where's everybody fucking at? Like, as I'm standing there watching the show, you know. So yeah, I get that too.
Yeah, I mean, I'm only speculating, but it seems like that's kind of what's up.
I mean, it is definitely an interesting thing. It's like what is also to me is like if you ever go to a show that's got not like necessarily in a bar, but it could be when you get the ones that do cluster up at the front of the stage, and then when you get to the back of the room, it's just like the dot here and the guy here and the here and here and here. You know, it's like they all just like start spreading out, you know, once you get to the back of the room, which is interesting too.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It's like, nah, I can't be up. I can't be up in that bunch of people.
Yeah, and it is a weird one when you put it like that. Yeah, I've never really thought about that. When I'm at a show like that, I'm watching it, and then when I'm playing a show like that, it's more just like, well, better give the people what they wanted, even if there's fucking 15 people, they still paid to get in and see a good show, so you better send it. That's how I see it. They're spending their evening doing that. They could be doing anything else with their night, and they chose to be there. They deserve a good show, even if it's disheartening with not having that many people there. You still got to rock it. You still got to send it.
Hell yeah. If you could be in a movie, comic, like if you could exist in one of these other universes, like a book series, a comic, a movie, what would you pick?
That's an interesting one too.
Like, would you be like Star Trek, Star Wars, Stargate? I'm like listing all the stars right now because they're the first thing.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a huge Star Wars guy. I'm a huge Star Wars guy. I love it. Like, yeah.
If you could exist in an alternate universe like that, what would it be?
Am I
you're you
myself.
You're still Noah Henley. You're still doing the thing and all the stuff.
Okay. As far as alternate universes like that go, Star Trek seems like the most hopeful, I guess. The others, like even like Middle Earth or something like that, it sounds kind of awful in a lot of ways. You know, he didn't go into it, but you know those guys are getting diseases. You know, there's all kinds of shit going around. Kind of like same thing. With Game of Thrones and Westeros. That's horrible to live there. And you know that stuff's happening in Middle Earth too, even though they're not talking about it. It doesn't fit his grand story, his mythology,
the whole thing.
You know that in reality that would be happening. So all that's out. No chance. Star Wars seems like it could be cool if you were in the right star system and lived the right life, or you could be a slave on Tatooine, or something like that, right?
Just saw all right, time out.
All right.
The best meme ever. It shows a picture of Palpatine, the dignitary, and Vader with the stormtroopers from Return of the Jedi. And it said, all of this could have been avoided had this man only taken Republic credits. And showed a picture of Watto.
Yeah. No kidding. Oh, that's so funny.
But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, you could be born into privilege like on Naboo. Like Amidala was.
Yeah.
Like
that would have been dope. That would have been great.
Yeah. Or you could have been born into born on a fucking sand planet and fucking been a slave.
Yeah. Or you're just like, gutter trash in Coruscant, and they go into the underworld of it a little bit. They didn't even scratch the surface of how gnarly that would have been. Like an entire planet. See, I wish that, especially since Star Wars has been rebooted, they would just rip the Band-Aid off and do a rated R one that goes
it would be so great.
It would be great. Like, let's get into the grit that they're just starting to hint at, but they're too much of wimps to really go for. I think
like they did with in Solo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, like, they kind of scratched the surface, but that one still didn't get as gnarly as it could have. See, I would like to see that. I would like to see like the horrific shit that is happening. That like they'll go into it in the comic books, and like they'll go into a little more then. But I think that they should just rip the Band-Aid off at this point. Like, let's
absolutely
give the people what we want.
I mean, maybe that's what's coming up next for the Filoni verse.
Yeah, it would definitely revitalize it. I think what they should start doing too is go into some more of the Old Republic stuff. Like,
yes,
that would be the move. You got all these spin-offs that are happening at the same time as the regular saga. Basically, it's like, dude, there's thousands of years of lore leading up to this. You go into some of that like Old Republic era, the rise of the Sith when they first started, before they got dwindled down to 2 people, like go into some of that. That would be the sickest.
Oh, hell yeah, dude. I like the new Jedi Order stuff that takes place like 30 and 40 years after Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi and all of that. That's like, well after like Luke's like an old man and shit.
Yeah.
Where the Yuuzhan Vong or whatever they were called.
Like Thrawn and that era.
Which is well, no, it's even well past that. It's like a long time after all that. But like where they basically scratch the surface with the Ahsoka series now, where they've left the known universe. And are outside.
I never watched that.
Oh, you haven't? It's good.
Yeah.
It's actually really, I think it's really good.
Okay.
What do you value most in a friendship?
No, that's all right. That's definitely a sharp turn. I don't know. That's a really good question. I'm fortunate to have a lot of really, really good friends, like people that matter a lot to me. I think, being able to trust somebody is a huge thing. And like, that's probably, it's like half of that. And then half just, do we have a good time hanging out? Like, how fun is it to hang out with this person? Are they fun to kick it with? And are they trustworthy? I'd say pretty much that. Yeah.
I can go along with the trustworthiness. And, I would honestly say that for me, I'll answer that one too, is compatibility. Like speaking the same language kind of thing. That is like, to me, like what a real friend is. It's like you have that, like, that thing that did you catch that? You don't have to say something, like you can make that look and get it. And that to me is like top tier in the friend category.
Yeah, and be able to understand somebody on a level where you have something like that. That's kind of something that you don't just get out of nowhere to. You have to build up to that over the course of years. And I'm lucky to have a lot of long-standing friendships like that too. People that I've been tight with for close to a decade, if not more. And that is a big piece of it too. What you're saying is being able to just speak the same language, pick up on stuff without realizing it, understand what each other's thinking. Yeah, absolutely.
Hell yeah, man. Dude, Noah, I have one more question. But
Yeah.
before we get to it, as always, links, they're going to be listed below. So please give likes, shares, follows, go do all the things and all the stuff. Buy the merch, support these awesome fucking people on tour when they do go, because hey, that's what it's about. Seeing the band play live, buying the CDs, the vinyl, the t-shirts, touting it, waving the flag for metal out there. Because that's what it's all about. Metal. Do you have anything else you would like to promote or any shout outs you would like to give today?
Right now, as far as talking about what to promote, this West Coast tours, anybody who's listening who's on the West Coast, we are going to be playing a bunch of cities out there. The last half of April. Check the tour dates. They're on Instagram, Facebook, everywhere. There'll be more details about those shows coming out soon. We got some killers on board that we're playing with. We got Silver Talon playing with us in Eugene and Portland. And those are going to be really fun fucking shows. We got Time Rift playing with us in Portland, and they just put out a new record. Go check that out.
It's fucking amazing.
Yeah, they're really good. I have a history with Silver Talon. I tours with them, filling in on bass. And I recently did a gig with them in Portland, a one-off kind of deal, and played a couple of. They got some new stuff coming down the pipe too. Keep an eye on that. We got Greyhawk playing with us in Seattle, and that's going to be really cool. They're a great band, great guys. I saw them in August of last year in Portland, and they crushed. They're worth checking out. So yeah, we got, and there's a bunch of others too. There's all kinds of cool stuff we got going for this tour. Those are just the first few that come to the top of my head. So yeah, keep an eye on that. Mostly we're trying to finish that up and get the recording done, but there might be more gigs down the pipe later in the year. I hope so. I would love to get out there and play. We got to get the writing and the record done too. So we're going to be busy no matter what. Hopefully, if not before the next record, after the next record is out, we'll be hitting it a lot harder, going to places we haven't been before, places we haven't been to for a while. Hopefully, East Coast, hopefully Europe again, all kinds of shit. But until if a good offer comes through, then we'll do what we do. But right now, it's rewriting time pretty much. Other than this West Coast tour. But that said, we're not opposed to taking stuff on too if offers come our way.
Sure. Absolutely. Yeah. Fuck yeah, man. Dude, Noah, my final question.
Yeah, hit me with it.
With the legacy of Bloodstar, what is it that you would love to leave behind?
Oh man. Now you cracked one. So, when I was younger, I used to care a lot about leaving stuff behind. And I used to be really wrapped up in it. It was part of what got me into music, is wanting to leave behind albums people would listen to. Right now, I don't really care that much. Once I'm gone, I don't know. I'm gone. It doesn't matter what happens. I think eventually we're all going to be dust, right?
Sure.
So I don't really worry too much about it. I would say more what I concern myself with is how do people now react to it? And if we can make music that people enjoy, that speaks to them, people have told some pretty moving stories to us about how our music has helped them, and those are their stories to tell. I'm not going to, I don't want to get into the people's business in public, right? But
sure.
People have definitely come up to us and told about how our music has helped them through tough times in their life, and that means a lot to hear. And I want to, I did not expect that. I just wanted to, have us help write some cool songs that people can rock out to and smash beers to and have a good time. But people do connect with what we do. We put a lot of thought into the lyrics, and we want to make an impact. It's like I think more. It's what kind of impact can we leave now while we're still here doing this? Because and if once we're gone, if people still find our stuff and dig it, cool, fuck yeah, I'm all about it. I don't really worry about what's gonna happen when I'm gone. I'll be gone,
Sure. I mean, who's to sit there and say that, that maybe this isn't the first time that, rock and roll has ever existed. There's been ancient civilizations, how do we know that, that this isn't just like our reign of terror at this time, that out of the hundreds of thousands of years that man has been around, that this is the only time that rock and roll has ever been around. Maybe not. Who knows? That's a whole other thing.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
And the attitude that rock and roll is about, it's not necessarily restricted to bands that play with guitars, loud amps, studs and spikes, or however it looks. That attitude, people were playing music in whatever forms their society wrote music in, however that looked for them. They've been doing that for since as long as we've been humans. People have been
exactly
some form.
Whether it have been creating the first stringed instruments and what it's almost like, what is it, the Marquis de Sade, who was the writer imprisoned in France, who would write essentially that was deemed pornographic, and but they were like smuggling the pages out, and they were reading it, but he was in an institution, right? So it's like, even then he was bucking the system, like what rock and roll has always been about. And there it still is. It's just transcended in their time, in their generation, which is totally cool.
And like Paganini, everyone thought he was possessed by the devil for what he was doing. If that's not a precursor to this, I don't know what the fuck is. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's to me, that's part of rock and roll attitude. Stuff that freaks people out, that makes them unsettled, and they think the devil's involved, right?
Yeah, absolutely. And that's like, I'm surprised, because back in his day with Beethoven, being deaf, and playing the piano by listening on the floor type shit, feeling the vibration, I'm surprised nobody thought he was like witchcraft or anything because of doing it like that. But that's a whole other thing for a whole other time. But live in the now, as Wayne Campbell would say.
Yeah,
live in the now.
Live in the now.
Fuck yeah, dude. Noah, thank you so fucking much. This has been a blast. For recording this on a Monday night. Fucking awesome times. On our way out today from Bloodstar, what do you want to leave people?
You mean like right this second?
Yeah. Or what's the Bloodstar song that you want to play out for everybody?
Oh man. My personal favorite one, I guess you'd say, is Going Home. That's my favorite one on my own personal level. I did a decent chunk of those lyrics, and there's all kinds of layers to it. But I'd say like the one that anybody who's listening who hasn't listened to us before would be most likely to like is probably Cold Moon. I think that's definitely it's the most streamed one. It's like the catchiest one. That's kind of like our representative fucking song.
Yeah, I think I did an amateur lyric video of it. No.
Oh yeah, that's right. That was you. Yeah, that was badass. Oh,
That was
cool,
me.
man.
So since we're gonna play two songs, how
Mhm.
about we start out with Cold Moon at the beginning of the show, and we'll end with your personal favorite, Going Home.
Perfect. That rocks.
Boom.
Hell yeah. I appreciate it, man. Much
Hell
appreciated.
yeah. On the way out, thank you guys so much. Love
Hey,
you.
thanks for having me on, Mark. I appreciate it a lot. I
Thank
really
you.
do.
Let's hear it for Jameson Palmer on guitar!
Hey metalheads, you like tattoos? Of course you do. If you're in the Louisville, Kentucky area, come on over the bridge to Clarksville, Indiana, and get you some ink done at Ageless Art. If ink isn't your thing, they have a piercing studio as well. Visit agelessartclarksville.com to see some frequently asked questions, meet the staff. The shop is open Monday through Thursday, 12 to 8 p.m., Saturdays, 12 to 10 p.m., and Sundays, 12 to 6 p.m., all appointment-only spots. You can set up your appointments by phone at 812-283-1793 or email agelessarttattooandpiercing@gmail.com and someone will get you set up for your first or your next tattoo or piercing.
Hey metalheads, after going to a rager, what's your ultimate go-to? Mine is totally pizza. So when Overload is playing, or I'm promoting the Metal Forge live showcases, or the big goddamn metal show, I go to Pizza DoNisi. Pizza DoNisi is gourmet artisan pizza from right here in Louisville, Kentucky. It features things like the pizza of the month, the sandwiches, and also vegetarian and vegan options, which is so totally fucking cool for all of it's awesome pizza. You definitely want to go. Hey, and also from time to time they do cannolis. Oh, so fucking good. You know what they said, man? Leave the gun, take the cannoli. Yeah, just like that in Godfather. They're located right next to the Mag Bar at 1396 South 2nd Street. So either stop in or call in at 502-213-0488. They're open till midnight. The witching hour.
Heineken? Fuck that shit! Pabst Blue Ribbon!
Hey metalheads, you all hear me talk about Mag Bar all the time. It is the home to the Metal Forge live showcases and is an integral stop in the Ultimate Underground Metal Tour schedule. They obviously feature live music, but the Mag Bar also has daily specials like Pint and Slice Night on Tuesdays with Pizza DoNisi. But they also do Bring Your Own Vinyl on Thursdays with DJ Kent Jackson, and Finer Things Sundays. Located right next to Pizza DoNisi at 1398 South 2nd Street, open 3 p.m. to 4 a.m. 7 days a week. Get your asses out to the Mag Bar. Rock out. For 45 years in keeping Louisville weird, Electric Ladyland has been there for all your eccentricities. While they do offer the best smoking supplies out on the market today, there's a whole lot more to check out. From ashtrays and blacklight posters, to records, incense and burners, and items to stock your metaphysical supply. They are open from 10 to 10, 7 days a week. Located at 2325 Bardstown Road in Louisville, Kentucky, and at electricladyland420.com. Roll out. The year was 19... In 2017, one man's vision and passion for all things metal started out as a record store in his house. Years later, the fight against a mainstream empire continues as Shadebeast.
an independent metal collective and online store based in Athens, Georgia, is the world's premier heavy metal brand for music heads that value authenticity over the mainstream acceptance. Featuring original t-shirts from some of the best underground artists, as well as stickers, posters from the Shadebeast Presents concert series. Unique, one-of-a-kind collectibles and small curated selection of vinyl and cassettes from the masters old and new. Visit Shadebeast.com and enter promo code SithLord for free domestic shipping on your first order, whether you're a new customer or returning. And be sure to join the Shadebeast social groups on Facebook and the interwebs to keep up with the new release announcements and talk all things metal and Star Wars. You'll never find a more wretched hive of scum and filth.
Welcome to the night. You think you know Night Demon? Then the Night Demon Heavy Metal Podcast is for you. Step into the darkness as we peel back the curtain to give you an unprecedented, all-access look into the mind and the heart of the demon. We're talking band history, song analysis, studio anecdotes, stories from the road. It's everything a diehard Night Demon fan could want and more. This is the only place to learn the inside scoop, the deep dive trivia, the untold tales from the band members themselves and those closest to the Night Demon story. Need more? The sacred Night Demon Crypt will be pried open to reveal demo recordings that have never before seen the light of day, all with in-depth commentary by the band and the people who were there for the writing and recording process. This is a gold mine, a treasure trove of all things Night Demon. Head over to nightdemon.net or wherever you listen to podcasts.
Since 2013, there has been a calling from the underground, from the graves of all those unholy, and they decided to make a zine to talk about all of this. Soul Grinder Zine! An independent metal zine to keep you informed on all things metal and horror from the underground. Available in both print and digital formats, they're bringing you the best interviews and reviews out there today. Not only do they do the zine, but they also do compilation CDs. Check them out at facebook.com/soulgrinder.zine and start your subscription now. Hey everybody, let me tell you about the new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Unchained Tapes. They're an independent Pennsylvania tape label. They focus on extreme metal and punk with a killer approach to the tape scene. Visit their web store at unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com now to get your fill of tapes. And for being a Metal Forge listener, enter the code MetalForge10 at checkout to get a 10% discount on your total purchase. That's unchainedtapes.bigcartel.com.
What's up, Metal Forge fans? This is Alan Bishop, the alchemist of Indiana's Black Forest and head distiller at Spirits of French Lick. Do you find yourself drawn to the unexplained, fascinated by the Fortean, or enchanted by the paranormal? If the things that go bump in the night resonate in your mind, then tune into my brand new podcast, If You Have Ghosts, You Have Everything. Featuring first-hand accounts, collected stories, interviews, history, and speculation related to all things not of this world. Available now on Anchor, Spotify, Google, Amazon, and more. Set back, relax, and remember, if you have ghosts, you have everything.
Hey, let me tell you guys about Mercenary Press. They're an independent London label and distributor of all things metal. Mercenary Press delivers the goods from their own independent zine. Trust me, you're going to want to get in on that. To distributing various bands from all over the world, including Cramp from Spain and Sadistic Force from Texas. Visit mercenarypress.bigcartel.com to find out what all they have in stock and what you can order. And for Metal Forge listeners, enter code METALFORGE10 to receive a discount on your total purchase at mercenarypress.bigcartel.com. Check it out now.
Hey Metalheads, it's with great pleasure I get to tell you guys about a new sponsor to the Metal Forge, Ageless Art, New Albany. After 20 years of owning and operating Ageless Art in Clarksville, Indiana, Phil Garrett had a vision for a new type of tattoo studio. Something that is clean and modern, sleek, refined, inviting. And he's done just that with Ageless Art in New Albany. You can find it at 2736 Charlestown Road, New Albany, Indiana, 47150. Business hours are Monday through Saturday, 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. Sundays are 12 to 6. All sessions are appointment only, so give them a call and go get you some new ink. Or if it's your first time, go get your first one, baby.